Welcome back to the channel for LearnGameWriting.com. Today we're going to be talking about the different types of game writing. So in a previous video, I talked about game writing from a 30,000 foot view, and now we're going to be talking about the different types of game writing, or the types of work that a game writer does throughout the day. This can vary project by project, but here's a list of what a game writer will actually do. First and foremost, a game writer participates in narrative design. This is how the story is going to be consumed by the player, deciding on whether or not the player is going to be receiving the story through dialogues and quests, or through pictures and text messages, whether it's going to be environmental storytelling as they walk through various areas and see the ravages of war, or see paintings that tell the history of their people. These are all forms of storytelling and ways to decide how your player is actually going to receive the story. We have three types of plotting: linear, branching, and modular. So linear plotting is from A to B to on to Z. Imagine picking up a book and reading it from the first page to the last page. This is linear storytelling. It's a classic. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no improvement needing to be made on it. If you love writing linear stories, there are plenty of games that do this and they're remarkable. So never let anyone tell you that if you're doing linear storytelling, you're boring and old hat. Have fun with it. All right, so branching is where people get really excited in video games because this plays into the character's actions. The player makes a choice either in a dialogue tree or just by going a certain way on a level, and the game changes based on those actions. Branching can be very exciting and can be very fun to craft. It can also be very daunting. If you saw the Black Mirror episode of Bandersnatch, you saw the madness that can come from trying to make infinite splits in a narrative. That madness is true. I don't recommend going that route. We can get into this in another video because it's a massive topic. Lastly, modular storytelling. Now, this is something that is generally compact, like a smaller linear story that can happen at any point without needing prior knowledge to what's going on in the game. This is a great way to build world lore and just a society at large where there's separate ecosystems that don't necessarily have everything to do with everything else. So that's linear, branching, and modular plotting. If you have other ideas, or you have used a different term or an entirely different style, please leave a comment below. Let's talk about this. I would say the bulk of what a game writer does day to day is going to be dialogue or scene writing. This is generating scripts or map barks for various characters in a world. This is the stuff that you see, the text on screen, or the voice-overed lines by actors in bigger productions. We also have something that I would call lore and descriptive text. The history of the world that you're developing, cultural nods to different groups in the world. You'll see these in various games left behind in CDs or tape players. You can pick them up and you can play them, and then you'll hear background stories of what was happening before you ever arrived. There's also items that have descriptions. You may have that flavor text that a writer will create that will say, this is the sword of Damocles, and it hangs over your head at all times. That's probably not an item in a game, but it could be. The descriptive text could also take place right there on the map of a game. So maybe even areas that you're never able to explore, but you can sort of highlight and click on them and read a little bit of their histories, and it just gives that overwhelming feeling that this is a lived in and breathing world. And lastly, there's the marketing aspect. So creating a trailer for a game, writing ad copy, creating character and location briefs. A game writer will often contribute to this effort because they have such knowledge about the game world as a whole that they can really make sure that what's going out there to the world in the ads says exactly what's in the game, or highlights really interesting aspects that they think will pop and sell. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. We've covered different types of game writing, from the narrative design aspect, the plotting, linear, branching, or modular, the dialogue and bark writing, the descriptive and lore text, and the marketing aspect of writing. And if I've missed something along the way, please call it out in the comments below. If you're liking the content on this channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell That way you know exactly when the next video lands. Also, if you want to get started with game writing immediately, go to the link on the screen or in the notes below and download that free PDF, 3 steps to get started in game writing right now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.